Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. Alright, our first one comes from Sophie LYS. Am I the beehole for getting genuinely angry following the cruel prank my friends pulled on me? I'm totally ready to be made fun of for this, but I strongly believe in the paranormal, and one thing in particular that freaks me out to my core is mimicry, a spirit or an entity taking on human traits, or the appearance of a loved one to mess with you or to lure you in. That kind of shite gives me nightmares, and it's something my friends are very aware of, given how much I yap about it. Last week, I was staying over at a friend's place, along with a few more people. We'd been hanging out together that evening and were too drunk to safely go home, so we slept there. In the middle of the night, something woke me up, and while I was still dazed and confused, I noticed one of my friends standing in the corner of the guest room. He was staring at me with a neutral demeanor, standing unnaturally still, and started whispering complete nonsense at me. Jumbled words forming meaningless sentences, genuinely very creepy and eerie shite. I could hardly breathe and was just frozen. I couldn't believe what was happening. I was still under the effects of alcohol and had literally just woken up, and this felt like a surreal nightmare. After a bit, he started walking in a very robotic way to the bedroom door, never taking his eyes off me, and left the room. That kinda made me snap out of my frozen state, and I started considering it was a prank. I got up and rushed out, only to see him sleeping on the couch. However, there were two girls awake in the kitchen, chatting quietly. That would have definitely seen him get up, but when I asked, they said they didn't. I started freaking out at that moment, just locked myself in the guest room and barely managed to sleep. I was terrified of that effing thing coming back. In the morning, I was eager to tell everyone about what happened to me, which I did. They all listened attentively until the end. When they told me it was just a joke, he was acting, the girls had lied. They were just effing with me. I just stood there without saying a word and went to pick my things up and go. I was about to leave when one of the girls from the previous night blocked the door and told me to chill out, that I was overreacting. I mumbled something like, "Get out of the way, you lying bee," and she did. As I walked back home, I realized I was crying. When I got home and checked my phone, I had tons of messages about me overreacting, going too far with the beeline, and making too big a deal out of a simple prank. Some time has passed, and I feel a bit bad about my reaction, but a part of me feels like it's justified. I think it wasn't unfair of an overreaction, learning my friends had just used my beliefs against me, while I was vulnerable just to get a good chuckle. Edit, I feel like I might need to explain my beliefs. While I don't consider myself Native American, I do have a lot of Native ancestry and family. Most of what my family has passed down from the culture are legends and tales of creatures and spirits. Growing up, I was told those stories a lot and always had fascination for them, as well as respect and fear for things they speak of. If you find it dumb, so be it, but it's how I was raised and a part of my culture. Hi, OP. I'm gonna say you're not the beehole, but if I was in your shoes, I probably would have laughed my butt off too. Not doing it to you if I was pranked, but that's just because I love horror and I do love scary things. Um, but yeah, it's kind of mean they did that to you and they hurt your feelings. I could see it going either way because yeah, nobody likes to feel like the butt of a joke. But personally, yeah, I would have loved it, especially because this is my favorite type of scary thing, where you think it's someone you've known, you love, you've grown up with, or raised you, but it's not them. Remember that movie? I never watched it because I heard it wasn't about that. It was just one part where I think it was a babysitter, and she's the little girl sleeping in bed, and then she goes down to pick something up, and then the little girl's under the bed, and she's like, "That's not me." That type of stuff creeps me out. Or like, oh, your family's back from a vacation, and you're like, awesome, they're just like your family, and then you get a phone call from your family, and they're like, hey, the flight was delayed, so we're still out here for another day, and then you're like, who is that downstairs making me dinner? I love stuff like that. So Pete, it's hard for me to feel for you because it'd be kind of fun to live my own little horror thing. But like I said, I can see it from your angle because I've had a joke like that played on me. Not that far, but I used to work at a video rental store, and there's a big return box that could fit a small person in. And this guy I knew to work with, man, if that dude was tall, he would have like if he was 6 foot, he would get all the girls because he was not super tall, but he was still pulling chicks. But back to the story, yeah, I went to go, take out the returns to scan him in, and he jumped out of the box and scared the crap out of me. He's lucky I stopped because I was about to knock him out, or at least damage his nose, and that did suck. I mean, I got over it, but I wasn't, moved to tears or anything like that. Not trying to put you down or anything, OP. That's why I'm saying I could see it from both angles because it's something I love, but I understand being pranked like that and not liking that. So, OP, I'm definitely going to say you're not the B-hole. Uh, the B thing, I mean, you were angry. You know what I mean? And she was blocking your way. And you just wanted to get away and lick your wounds in peace. So, I'm going to excuse that, but talk it out with your friends because it sounds like they weren't doing a prank that could like hurt you or anything like that. I do think when they saw you like run into the room, they should have told you right then and there they were just messing with you. But yeah, other than that, OP, not the B-hole. And our next one comes from Additional Cream 550. Am I the B-hole for refusing to take my son's stepsister to an indoor water park with us? My ex and I share a son, age 8. We share equal custody time of him, and that has been the status quo and in court order since he was 11 months old. We don't co-parent, instead we parallel parent, because we don't agree on things. And we need to use mediation and the courts for big decisions that we must make together. It's not ideal, but I've tried in the past and it does not work. My ex wants things her way, and I don't think that's how decisions should be made. We don't really talk face to face. We use an app. We save phone conversations for emergencies. My son was sick on his birthday in December, and he was with his mom. We both had to cancel the parties we had planned because he was sick for a while. She rescheduled to January. I asked my son if there was an experience he would like with his best friend instead of because I thought it would be more enjoyable for him and less weird for people getting involved for 2 very late birthday parties. My son wanted to visit the indoor water park with his best friend, and I arranged it with his best friend's parents and booked us in. He was so excited. 3 weeks ago, during the exchange of our son, X told me that our son had told her mom about the water park, and that her stepdaughter wanted to go, and she would feel like it'd be a good chance for them to bond. It's a known thing that my son doesn't like his stepsister. My ex and her husband know I know. The extended families know. My son vents to me about her from time to time. So I know he wasn't okay with this. And the fact she was approaching me versus our son asking told me she couldn't get him to ask either. So I told her I would not take her. That was too late anyway. I was not paying to bring another child. Yesterday morning, at the exchange, my ex brought her stepdaughter, who was all packed and ready to go. She tried to send both kids over. My son looked mad. My ex was scolding him for his attitude, saying he should enjoy taking his sister, and they were bickering in front of the poor girl, with my son saying she's not his sister, and my ex saying she is. I refused to take her. I told my ex I already said no. She didn't get to spring this on me. I got my son into the car, and we left. All day yesterday, my ex was texting me that I was such a b-hole for rejecting her stepdaughter to her face and letting the little girl go home after getting excited for the water park. My son was so relieved. He thanked me for not making him bring her too. He had a great time. I woke up just a little while ago and my ex texted me during the night about what a b-hole I am. Am I the b-hole? OP, no, you are not the b-hole. That is not your child. Plus, you're already dealing with a child who's not your child, but at least you wanted to bring that kid since it's your son's friend. And I like how she's blaming you for making her daughter feel like crap. You told her no. What did she think would happen? You would just bring the kid and you'd be okay with it? She's the one who put her daughter in that situation to make her cry, not you. Like I said, that is not your kid, OP. You have no obligation to that child. Your ex is a psycho trying to force a child that's not yours and trying to force the stepdaughter onto your son like that. When are people going to learn what step anything? You don't force it on the person. They just have to get there on their own. I don't know how to explain it. Time. You know what I mean? They just get there. And plus, you got to worry about if you did take her, which I'm glad you didn't, what if she gets hurt? What if she goes missing? What if she says you did something to her? That is not your child. You are going to get destroyed if you have to deal with the law or anything like that. OP, good thing you didn't take her because you're protecting yourself. And do not give in to your ex. She sounds like a horrid person, and I understand why she's your ex. I'm glad your son enjoyed his birthday with his friend, because it is his birthday and he gets to decide who he brings, especially since it's not like a party at your house. This is going to a place, I'm pretty sure. well, it's a water park. I don't think you need to be like, oh, I'm bringing two kids. But you know what I mean? This is a place that is not your place that you don't know 100%. So your child could easily go missing or something could happen to them. And you don't need that. You don't want that liability. So P, you're not the beehole. Our final one comes from No University 2612. Would I be the beehole if I move out, leaving my chronically ill roommate vulnerable? I, a 30-ish female, live in Los Angeles, where rent is really high. Tell me about it. I live in a house with two roommates, 30 and 50-year-old female. My 30-year-old roommate, Kay, has been battling autoimmune chronic illness for a couple of years. She's not able to eat a lot of food and has these spells where her energy is drained. My 50-year-old roommate, Tammy, is emotionally immature, does not help out with chores, and has a tendency to be really forgetful. For example, she once broke a toilet seat and didn't bother to replace it. Before going on a last minute trip out of town, after I got the delayed utilities payment from her, it came with a poop emoji attached to it. I'm responsible for major utility bills, water, power, and internet. It's hard getting payments from Kay and Tammy because of Kay's health issues and Tammy's irresponsibility. They also have two dogs who are very loud and cause a ruckus. I have been having a very hard time coping with Kay's health problems. It's horrible for me to say it, but when she is down, she is down. That leaves the majority of household chores, bills, and trash on me. I'm in school, working full time. I can't stand living like this anymore. Recently, a friend of mine was looking into filling a roommate vacancy. I will pay more for rent, but the location is closer to my college and my work. I feel guilty moving out because of Kay's health issues. She relies on me to help her get groceries when she's sick. Not to mention Tammy does F all to help around the house. Kay even said that if I move out, it'll be bad for her because of her health problems. She says she's trying to get better, but she's been saying that for over a year, and it's affecting my life too. Would I be the beehole if I move out? Hi, OP. I'm definitely gonna say you're not the beehole. I feel for Kay, and that sucks that she's in that situation. But she is not your obligation, OP. You are not married to her, you are not dating her, she is not your family. She's making and and the other one is just dead weight. They're both making your life worse. They're messing with you mentally, and you don't need that when you're working a full-time job and going to school. You need to focus on yourself so you can get through all of this. Kay's gonna need to figure it out because if she didn't know you, you wouldn't exist to her, and she would have figured it out. So OP, I say move out. You are not the beehole. You are a saint for taking care of someone for a year and dealing with a grown child. Yeah, OP, move out. Don't even look back. Move out. Doesn't matter what she says or what she does. She will figure it out, OP. Don't let her guilt you or put any kind of heaviness on you. Yeah, move out and enjoy your life and get through school and hope you get a good job where you're not stressed out all the time, but move out. Move out now. Don't wait. Move out. Not the beehole. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.